Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video we're going to learn how to crochet a messy bun hat, and I'm going to use the waffle stitch. So I'm using the yarn Super Lana Midi Alize, and this yarn is 25% wool and 75% acrylic. It's 3.53 ounces and 186 yards. So let's go ahead and start. I am going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, and I'm going to start with a chain of 12 because in the beginning we're going to make the bottom part of our hat, and then we're going to move upwards. Okay, so I'm going to start with the beginning knot, and I'm going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 chains. Out of those 12 chains, because I'm going to crochet my first row and all of the rows up until I complete this part with double crochet, out of the 12 chains I'm going to have a total of 10 stitches. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. I'm going to put my hook in the fourth, and I'm going to work a double crochet. So having done this, the first 3 chains plus the double crochet that I created in the fourth chain give me my first 2 stitches for the row. So 2, next stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last stitch, 10. So now, because I want to create a ribbed stitch with my double crochet, what I'm going to be doing in every row, I'm going to be chaining 1, I'm going to be turning my work, and starting from the first stitch I am always going to be grabbing the back loop. So let's say this is how we were going to put our hook in if we were going to create a regular double crochet. I have the front loop, which is this one, and the back loop, which is this part over here. So I always want to be grabbing the back loop. So I'm going to be putting my hook in between those 2 loops, and I'm going to grab the back loop in between the 2 loops of the next stitch and grab the back loop. So starting from my first stitch, I'm going to grab the back loop, and I'm going to create a double crochet. 1, next stitch, 2, next one, 3, next one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last stitch, which is the chain 3, 10. So this is how the second row with double crochet look like. And see, by only grabbing the back loop, see how we have an outline with the front loops of the double crochet of the previous row. So that's why we always want to be grabbing the back loop of the double crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. Starting from my first double crochet again, grab the back loop and work your first double crochet for the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last stitch 10. Chain 1 and turn your work. So this is how our work looks like so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crochet the band, and I want it to be about 4 to 5 centimeters smaller than the head circumference. So because I'm crocheting this for myself and my head circumference is 54 centimeters, I want at the end the band to be about 49 to 50 centimeters long. Along with that, we do want to have the multiples, the correct multiples for the waffle stitch. And because the waffle stitch has a multiple of 3, what I want to have in the end is, when I turn this on the side to start crocheting the double crochet on top of each stitch, what we have mentioned in other videos is that each double crochet consists of 2 stitches. So since I have 3 rows of double crochet, when I turn it on the side, I'm going to be working 2 double crochet on top of each horizontal stitch. So out of those 3 rows, I'm going to have a total of 6 double crochet. So it's twice as much. So when I finish my band, I do not only want it to be for the correct circumference, but I also want it to have the correct multiples. So you're going to take the amount of rows that you have made and you're going to multiply that by 2, because each row gives me 2 stitches. So that number that you're going to have as a total, that needs to be a multiple of 3. So let's go ahead and finish our band, and when I turn my video back on, I am going to show how to continue. Okay, so at this point I've completed crocheting the band, and I want it to be 50 centimeters, and it's exactly 50 centimeters, and I have a total of 36 rows. Now what I mentioned before is that I want the total number of rows. I am going to multiply that number by 2, because when I crochet on top of each double crochet, I am going to be creating 2 stitches. So 36 times 2, that equals 72. So I want this total to be a multiple of 3. So I'm going to divide this number by 3, and I want the result to be a whole number. And because the result is 24, this is a whole number. So once I close up the band and I start creating the waffle stitch, I am going to have the correct multiples. So I'm going to be able to be creating the waffle stitch all around my work. So now we're going to see how to close up our band. So we're going to be crocheting on top of it. Okay, so I've chained 1, so I'm just going to frog the chain 1. I am going to turn the work, and I'm going to attach both sides together, and I'm going to join by slip stitching. So what I want is I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch on the front side and the first stitch on the back side of my work, and I'm going to work a slip stitch. So grab the yarn and pull it through both of the stitches in all of the loops. Now put your hook in the second stitch of the front side and the second stitch of the back side of your work, and work a slip stitch. Now put your hook in the third stitch on the front side and the third stitch on the back side of your work, and work a slip stitch. So keep doing that up until you complete the row, and you want to have a total of 10 slip stitches, because that's the amount of stitches that we had in the row. I've completed joining the 2 sides and have a total of 10 slip stitches. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn the work, because since this is the side where I joined with the slip stitches, now this is the wrong side of my work. So turn your work, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start crocheting 2 double crochet on top of each double crochet of each row. So since I have a total of 36 rows, I am going to have a total of 72 stitches. So put your hook under the first double crochet of the first row and work 2 double crochet on top of it. 1, 2. Now put your hook under the first double crochet of the next row and work again 2 double crochet on top of it. So 3 and 4. Put your hook under the first double crochet of the next row and work 2 double crochet. 5, 6. Put your hook under the first double crochet of the next row and work 2 double crochet on top of it. 7 and 8. So keep working 2 double crochet on top of each double crochet of each row. So on each first double crochet of each of the rows, we're going to be working 2 double crochet on top of that stitch. So once you finish all around, and when I finish mine, when I have the 72 double crochet, I'm going to turn my video back on and we're going to see how to continue. I've completed crocheting my 72 double crochet, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work a slip stitch in the first double crochet of this row and chain 1. So now I'm going to start creating the waffle stitch, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working a front post double crochet in one stitch and a regular double crochet in the next 2. So that's how we're going to keep working all of this row. So this first stitch is going to be a front post double crochet, so put your hook from the front to the back on the right side of the stitch and to the front again on the left side. So I'm pulling forwards my double crochet and I'm going to work a double crochet. Now in the next 2 stitches I'm going to work a regular double crochet. So this is my next stitch, and make sure you're always putting your hook in the correct stitch, because you might think that the next stitch that you're going to have to crochet is this one, but this stitch belongs to the front post double crochet that we just created, and if you put your hook in there, it's going to be as if you're making an increase. So this is my next stitch, and the stitch that it belongs to it is the one that it's on its top left. So 1 regular double crochet on this stitch and 1 regular double crochet in the next one. Now we're going to work a front post double crochet in the next stitch. So put your hook from the front to the back on the right side, to the front again on the left side, and work a double crochet. Now work a regular double crochet in the next 2 stitches. This is my next stitch, and the stitch that it belongs to it is the one on the top left. 1 and the next one, 2. My next stitch is going to be a front post double crochet, so put your hook from the front to the back on the right side of the stitch, to the front again on the left side, so we're pulling out the stitch and I'm working a double crochet. Work a regular double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and this is how you're going to keep working this row. 1 front post double crochet and 2 regular double crochet, 1 front post double crochet and then 2 regular double crochet. Keep doing that pattern up until you complete this row. When I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on and we're going to see how to continue. Okay, so I've completed my row, and my last 2 stitches, they are a regular double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch of the row and I'm going to work a slip stitch and a chain 1. So before I turn my work to start the next row, I want to show why we need a multiple of 3. We need a multiple of 3 because the first stitch is the front post double crochet and the other 2 stitches, they are the regular double crochet. So see how I finished with 2 regular double crochet? The pattern starts forming from the next stitch again because my first stitch of the row was a front post double crochet. So I have already chained one and turn your work. So now this is the wrong side of your work, and we are going to be working one front post double crochet on each of the 2 stitches that we were doing a regular double crochet in the previous row. So this is the first stitch, work a front post double crochet. So put your hook from the front to the back on the right side and to the front again on the left side of the stitch, and work a front post double crochet. Work a front post double crochet in the next stitch as well. And my next stitch, because it was the front post from the previous row, well, in this row it seems as if it's a back post double crochet, I am going to work a regular double crochet on top of it. In the next 2 stitches, where in the previous row they were regular double crochet, in this row I'm going to work front post double crochet. So 1 and 1 front post in the next stitch. The next stitch was a front post in the previous row, so in this row I'm going to work a regular double crochet on top of it. Now in the next 2 stitches I'm going to work a front post double crochet, 1 and 1 in the next stitch. So this is how you're going to keep working the pattern. 2 front post double crochet, 1 regular, 2 front post double crochet, 1 regular. And just in case you get confused, each of the regular double crochet that we were working in the previous row, in this row they're going to be front post double crochet, and the front post that we were creating in the previous row, in this row it's going to be a regular double crochet. So keep working the pattern up until you complete the row, and when I finish I'm going to turn my video back on again. I have completed my row, and the last stitch is a regular double crochet, and I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch of the row, and I'm going to work a slip stitch and a chain 1. And see that even though this is the last stitch and it's a regular double crochet, then again, starting from the beginning of the row, the pattern keeps repeating itself. So nothing changes even though these are the last stitches. So I've chained 1 and I'm going to turn my work. Now this is the right side of my work, and I'm going to start repeating what I did in the second row after I joined the band. So in the first row we worked 2 double crochet on top of each double crochet. In the second row we started creating the pattern for the waffle stitch. The third row is the row that we just completed, which was the wrong side, and now we're going to start the right side of our work again. So the first stitch is going to be a front post double crochet, and in the next 2 stitches I'm going to work a regular double crochet, which they appear that they were the front post double crochet of the previous row. So 1 and 2. My next stitch, in which in the previous row this was a regular double crochet, in this row it's going to be a front post double crochet. The next 2 stitches we're going to work a regular double crochet, 1 and 2, and the next stitch is going to be a front post double crochet. So the pattern for this row is 1 front post, 2 regular double crochet, 1 front post, 2 regular double crochet. And just in case we get confused, the front post for this row is the regular double crochet of the previous row, and the regular double crochet of this row, it's going to be the front post double crochet that we were doing in the previous row. So keep working the pattern, and I'm going to meet you guys when I finish my row as well. I've completed my row and I finished with 2 regular double crochet. I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch of this row, and I'm going to work a slip stitch, a chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. Now this is the wrong side of my work, so I'm going to follow the same steps as I did in the third row after the band. So the first 2 stitches I'm going to work a front post double crochet, 1, and in the next one a front post double crochet as well, 2. The next stitch is going to be a regular double crochet, 1 front post double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and 1 regular double crochet in the next stitch. So that's a pattern that we're going to follow up until we complete this row, 2 front post and 1 regular. Now, just in case you get confused, we're working the front post double crochet on each regular double crochet of the previous row, and I'm working a regular double crochet on top of each front post double crochet of the previous row. So let's go ahead and finish our row. I've completed my row, and my last stitch is a regular double crochet, so I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch, slip stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. So this is the right side of my work. See, on this side we can see the waffle stitches, and what we're going to do now, up until we reach the 18 centimeters, I'm going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 of my work, rows 2 and 3 after we joined the band. So this is the right side of the work, and the repetition of row 2 is where I do a front post and 2 regular, 1 front post and 2 regular double crochet. The repetition of row 3 is the wrong side of my work, and it's 2 front post, 1 regular, 2 front post and 1 regular double crochet. So let's say you want to make this a different size. What we want to do is a regular female adult beanie has to be about 21 to 22 centimeters long. So I want to make this, I'm going to be doing the waffle stitch up until I reach 3 centimeters less than the total length that I want. So since I want about 21 centimeters, when I reach the 18, so 21 minus 3 is 18. When I reach my 18 centimeters, I'm going to turn my video back on, and we're going to see how to create the decreases. So we're going to create the hole on our beanie on the top. So let's go ahead and keep repeating rows 2 and 3 up until we reach 18 centimeters on our beanie. I have finished crocheting, and I finished my 18 centimeters as I mentioned earlier. So let's see it together. I'm at 18 centimeters exactly. And what I forgot to mention before I turn the video off, I want my last row to be a wrong side. So I finished crocheting my last row, and it was on the wrong side. So I'm going to turn my work on the right side, and I'm going to start working decreases. And what we're going to do now in order to create the decrease is instead of crocheting in every stitch, what I'm going to be doing is I'm only going to be working a front post double crochet on each stitch that I'm supposed to make a front post double crochet. So I'm going to work a front post double crochet in the first stitch. Now regularly, if I was going to create a regular row, in each of the next 2 stitches I would make 1 regular double crochet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip those 2 stitches. I'm not going to work any stitches on those, and I'm going to work in the 3rd stitch a front post double crochet. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches, work a front post double crochet in the 3rd stitch, in which this is the stitch that we would make a front post double crochet if we were working the row regularly. Skip the next 2 stitches, work a front post double crochet in the 3rd stitch. And keep working a front post double crochet on every 3rd stitch. 1, 2, 3. On every 3rd stitch, keep working a front post double crochet up until you complete the row, where we're going to have a total of 24 stitches. Okay, so now I've worked in all of my front post double crochet, and I am left with 2 double crochet on this row, which are the stitches that if I was going to work the row regularly, I would work 1 double crochet on top of those last 2 stitches of the row. I am not going to work any stitches on top of those double crochet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work right away a slip stitch in the first double crochet of this row. Slip stitch, chain 1, and I have 24 stitches. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to turn my work, I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of those 24 stitches, starting from the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and keep working 1 single crochet up until you have 24 single crochet. I've worked a total of 24 single crochet, and now I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch of this row, and I'm going to work a slip stitch and a chain 1. At this point, this is how our hole on the top of our head looks like. Now you can leave it like this if you want to, but what we're going to do is we're going to make 1 more row with 1 single crochet in every stitch, and the hole in the top is going to close a little more. So starting from the first stitch again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep working 1 single crochet in every stitch up until you have 24 stitches again. I completed my 24 single crochet, and I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch of the row, and I'm going to work a slip stitch, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. So this is how much smaller our hole got on the top, and it's about 7.5 centimeters from the one side of the hole to the other. It's about 7.5 centimeters, and I'm mentioning that the measurements just in case you're working a different yarn, different amount of stitches, just so you know how big your hole on the top has to be. So let's go ahead and weave in all of our ends, and when I turn my video back on, we're gonna see how our messy bun looks completed. At this point, we have completed our hat, our messy bun hat. Now, some changes that you could do, you could have made the band smaller with less stitches. You can decide to make it with a different stitch. You do not have to make it with a waffle stitch. What you could do is, if you want to make this a waffle stitch beanie, a regular beanie, you can just keep working decreases up here up until it closes up entirely. Sew up the parts and put a pom-pom if you'd like. Now you can make the messy bun with any stitch that you like. You can use single crochet, you can use regular double crochet. You can use any stitch that you like. I did the waffle stitch because I'm making a jacket for myself and I wanted to match with the jacket. Now, some of the rules that I want to remind are the beginning band, we want it to be about 4 or 5 centimeters smaller than the head circumference. The total, we want the band to help us with the multiples. So when we take the number of rows and multiply that number by 2, we want the result to be a multiple of 3. And then we create the waffle stitch and we start making our decreases about 3 centimeters when our head is 3 centimeters smaller than the total length that a regular head has to be. So just in case you want to make this for a different size, the same rules apply for any size messy bun hat that you want to create. So thanks for watching, please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. I'd be more than happy if you want to be a fan of my Facebook page or be a member in the Facebook in my Facebook group. Sorry. You'll find the links under the video in the About section. You can also follow Kiki Crochet, the English tutorials blog. So thanks again. Bye bye.